All right, welcome. This is Nuke Marine presenting Let's Read Japanese, course series through the reading of Japanese text alongside its audio counterpart. Today's episode is Shinya Shokudo, the 2015 movie, part 3 of 5. So this should roughly come out to about, it's 280 lines of dialogue. I'm gonna go from the 48-minute mark of the movie to the 1 hour 12-minute mark of the movie. If you want to catch this on YouTube, that's what we're doing today. So again, the idea was to split the lines of dialogue into 5 parts, and then how much time, and it comes roughly about 40 or so minutes of video of reading time as far as give or take. Okay, depends on if I go into long uh, long talk about some subject that popped up during the what I saw. Beyond that, yeah, there's really not much to say. So for those of you on YouTube, if you enjoy this video, remember to give it a thumbs up, leave a comment. Feedback's always welcome. If you enjoy this series, I'd like to see more series like this. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. This is all part of the Let's Learn Japanese project. So if you appreciate what I'm doing to help the Japanese learning community, you can support that via the Patreon. So the link's in the description below, as well as links to the community Discord and the website that was put together by Otaku Dave. Finally, if you'd like to hire me on commission or technical assistance advice, usually it turns out to be one-on-one, trying to walk you through the steps to get started or utilizing a lot of the resources or some of the resources that I talk about in these various videos. Again, that can be done via the hourly rates, and the payments are done via the Patreon. The direct link for that specifically is below in the description as well. Okay, with that said, we can get started. Yeah, coffee, by the way, and water. I need to do both. Okay, I think everything is ready, and yeah, and again, feel free to leave if you're watching this on the live stream. Yeah, feel free to leave comments in the chat. I'll reply if it's relevant. Okay, 48 minutes. Let's see if we can get there. There we go. Am I missing it? There we go. Okay.
親知らず出身親知らず出身で
親知らず出身
親なし
できすぎでしょ。親知らずって
新潟よ
新潟プリフェクチャー。
買ったもんじゃないわよ。
花ルミミキお茶レーリス。
別にいいじゃん。料理できるんだし、マスター助かってんだから。
よかったら味見してください。
これ何ですか？
糸かぼちゃです。
糸かばっちょ。かばっちょ。OK。pumpkin。かばっちょ。かぼちゃ。糸かぼちゃ。
糸かぼちゃです。
みちるちゃんが八百屋で見つけてね。新潟じゃよく食べるらしいよ。癖がないのに癖になりそうです。
本当だ。さっぱりしてる。あ、美味しい。
ふっくらした。俺のばあちゃん、なだちの生まれだそい。あっちゃ。あっちゃくてな。俺のばあちゃん、なだちの生まれだそい。あっちゃくてなもかんねって言うとよ。
まだどそい？
よくこしょってあっちゃくてなもかんねって言うとよくこしょってくれたんだわね。
It's definitely an accent there going on.
夏バテで食欲がないとき。
夏バテ。あ、夏バテ。
夏バテで食欲がないとき、おばあちゃんがよく作ってくれたんです。
Turn up my earphones a bit.
って言ったの？
こんばんは。
どうも。
お待たせ。
いらっしゃい。
Still got the same boyfriend.
あ
I
れ
know.
マスターまだ。
うん。治んなくてね。
Hmm.
いや、なんだか体の軸が曲がってますね。
I know it's like the more like the spine or the posture. But I don't know.
いや、なんだか体の軸が曲がってますね。
Make sure Jika. Jika.
そうかい。
ひょっとすると手のしびれは背骨から来てるかもしれませんね。
背骨かな？背骨。Okay, spine.
背骨から来てるかもしれませんね。
マスター、一度キミ君に見てもらったら？
今度うちの治療院に来てくださいよ。
ねえねえ、手と背骨って関係あるの？
そういう症状結構多いんですよ。
症状結構多いんですよ。
そういう症状結構多いんですよ。テキーラと言ってもダメってことです。
ねえ、お疲れ様。頑張ってね。玉ねぎは一袋。
はい。
一袋。
慣れてきたね。
一袋。
ピーマンもください。
ピーマン。
ピーマン。Green peppers, ピーマン、オクラ。
オクラ
I hate okra. オクラ？
一つだけ。
はい。
Something I just haven't liked since childhood is it doesn't have a taste. It doesn't have a flavor, but it has a slime texture to me. So I just don't like. I don't know. It just never appealed to me. It's not as bad as liver. I mean, I have a physical revulsion of liver, the smell and the taste.
ただいま。
おかえり。
あ、直した。
ああ。君とし君の整骨院で見てもらったら。
整骨院。
君とし君の整骨院で見てもらったら。嘘みたいに良くなってね。
そうみたい。そう僕。うん。
嘘みたいに良くなってね。
分かってます。マスターの手が治るまでの間っていう約束でしたもんね。
急がなくたっていいんだよ。これからどうすんの？
考えます。1週間だけ時間ください。1週間。
Hey, Mikoshi. That's a small Mikoshi, but yeah, they have those two.
もう器下げてもらっていいよ。早く戻らないと大将に叱られるんじゃない？
お待たせ。これつけといたから。 すぐお別れかも。
うん。
ちゃんどうするんでしょうね。ここで働けばいいのに。
仮にそうなったとして、それが彼女にとっていいことかな。ここではないどこかで出発すべきじゃないかってこと。
いらっしゃい。
いらっしゃい。Oh, 長谷川、忠夫。
ビールもらおうかな。
長谷川、忠夫。ビールもら
はいよ。
おう。おいよ。
いい店だね。
うん。
探し回ったよ。心配した。
いなくなったのは長谷川さんの方じゃないですか。
なくない。
いなくなったのは長谷川さんの方じゃないですか。
話あるんだけど。
今仕事中ですから。
預かってたみちるちゃんの貯金使っちゃったことが悪かったよ。行方くらましたのも悪かった。
上くれました。うん。
行方くらましたのも悪かった。預かってたみちるちゃんの貯金使っちゃったことが悪かったよ。行方くらましたのも悪かった。これからはコツコツ残りの借金返して。
コツコツ。
これからはコツコツ残りの借金返して、今度こそお店持たせてあげるからさ。
銭もいらねえ。銭もいらねえ。店もいらね
うん。
なんでもないですから。
親知らずの居酒屋で働いてた時、長谷川さんに「お前の料理なら東京で店出せる」って言われてすっごく嬉しかったです。でももういいんです。長谷川さんももういらね
うん。
おまんのばあちゃんにも会ってきたんだわね。ばあちゃんかわいそうにリュウマチが割れなって。
リュウマチ。ルームですね。うん。リュウマチ。
難儀してた。リュウマチが割れなって難儀してたそい。
難儀。うん、難儀してたそ
難儀してたそい。
難儀。そう。
おまんのことほんねも心配してたでの。
Yeah, I mean, you start hearing the accent, the regional accent is starting to be. I mean, it's not starting to become obvious to me. I mean, but I know something's off. I wouldn't be able to place it. It just sounds a little off on the words that they're choosing with, like oman no koto instead of mai no koto. Oman no koto honne. Hontoni.
おまんのことほんねも心配してたでの。だそい。こんなとこいねえで。
だそうい。
俺とやり直してくんない。え？
困った人だそうい。
There's the cop. Augura-san. Komate ito da soy.
いい加減察してあげたらどうですか？
おまわりさんには関係ない。何ですか？おまわりさんには関係ないでしょう。民事不介入って知らない？
民事不介入。不介入。民事不介入。
民事不介入って知らない？
民事不介入。That's interesting. I wonder if I don't think that principle works in the U.S. But if you remember, like, if you're watching the Let's Read the News, like, it was a bit about the, uh, the owner of a medical clinic calling the police because of a patient that was refusing to pay for his uh, for a for a scan and whatnot. But the yeah, the police saying like they don't, since it's a financial issue, they don't get involved.
くだらない
民事不介入って知らない？
くだらないこと言ってないで耳を澄ましてください。
耳を澄まして。
要するに彼女には愛する男がいるんです。
僕？
黙りなさい、本当にもう。真剣な話なんだから。先日みちるさんにプロポーズしました。彼女はそれを引き受けてくれました。内緒だったんですけど。
そんなことはあるわけないねかね。
僕みたいなしがない公務員に。
しがない。しがない公務員。
みちるさん、僕みたいなしがない公務員にみちるさんはいつも優しくて、それが支えとなってこんな吹き溜まりでも真面
目。吹き溜まり。たまり。吹き溜まり。
こんな吹き溜まり、それが支えとなってこんな吹き溜まりでも真面目に頑張ろうって思うようになったんです。赤い糸で結ばれるなんて。赤い糸で結ばれるなんてバカにしてたけど真実なんですね。
みちる。
ああ、まだわかんないのかい？あんたは用済みだってことだよ。
用済みだ。Yeah, you're not useful anymore. Okay. Let's hear that again.
あんたは用済みだってことだよ。
そういやんかね。
そりゃん。
そりゃあ切ねえの。
切ねえの。
親知らずのばあちゃんも用済みちゅうことかね。いやな。
ビール代もらってないけどつけや勘弁してもらいたいな。
So he paid he was going to pay with like say 1,000 yen, and he said, "No, screw that. I'm going to pay exact change." I assume even he didn't pay for the whole bottle. He just paid for just the one drink he had out of the bottle. I assume.
小暮さんも隅に置けないな。小暮さんも隅に置けないな。いつの間に。
I think that's a phrase. 組に置けない。隅に置けない。That's a phrase, yeah.
いつの間に小暮さんも隅に置けないな。いつの間に愛を育んでたんですか？
みちるさん、いいアドリブでした。あのはにかみ、
はにかみ。はにかむこと、恥ずかしがろう。はにかみ。That's, feel ashamed. Sheep should not feel ashamed of a cow. So you got sheep and cow, or like the old form of ushi. the astrological form of the cow, Gushi, sheep and cow. Or wool shouldn't be ashamed, or the cow's ashamed that he's having to be covered in wool. Maybe, I don't know, something. I mean, it's a very simple kanji when you think about it. If it just means like to feel ashamed. Hajiru. Honey kami. So, honey kami. And then manzara. Oh, no, okay. Honey kami manzara. Oh, manzara demana. Okay. Not completely embarrassed. Okay.
はにかみまんざらでもありません。じゃあ表から失礼します。
And we're going to the 1 hour 12 mark, so we got another 12 minutes of this.
お邪魔しました。
マスター、お邪魔しました。
三文芝居もいいとこ。
Okay, some shibai. I know it's like a third-rate, a very poorly acted play. I assume like Sammon Shibai. It's a play drama. Sammon Shibai. They're not gonna say. Yeah, they don't have it. But yeah, a cheap performance. もういいとこ。
三文芝居もいいとこ。
三文芝居もいいとこ。
ちょっと。
何ですか？
ここの2階で寝泊まりしてるって？
はい。
マスターちゃんと毎日帰ってるんだろうね。泊まって行ったりしてないだろうね。
はい。
はい。
あんたマスターのことどう思ってんの？
どうって。マスターはいい人です。私を拾ってくれました。
うちの店で働いてみない？マスターの手も治ったし、いつまでも居候はできないでしょ？
居候? I know it's like being assisting, but 他人のいいのただで終えてもらうこと。給食すること。It's dependent on. Okay. Sponge? 居候。いつまでも居候は。
いつまでも居候はできないでしょ？あ、誤解しないでよ。あの人から引き離そうってつもりじゃないのよ。あの人から引き離そうってつもりじゃないのよ。
どういうことですか？
どういうことって、そういうことよ。
おかみさん、マスターに恋してるんですね。最初にこうやって包丁を研がせてもらったんですよね。
I know it's sharpening, but 研がす。Wait a minute. 研がす。
最初にこうやって包丁を研がせてもらったんですよね。もしあの時マスターに断られてたら。
どうするつもりだった？
どうするつもりだったんで？わ
かりません。どうにでもなれって思ってました。子供の頃、近所に秀子ちゃんって同い年の子がいたんです。近所に秀子ちゃんって同い年の子がいたんです。お母さんと2人暮らしで、うちよりも貧乏でした。お母さんがパートの仕事掛け持ちしてたから。お母さんがパートの仕事掛け持ちしてたから、ご飯の支度は秀子ちゃんの日課で、魚の頭でも大根の尻尾でも、ちょっとした味付けはなんか工夫すれば美味しくなるんだよって教えてくれたんです。
So fish heads and the tail of the ends of the large radish heads. Let's see if that's a full phrase. But no. どうした? And by the way, that's a lot of the what you see about like Cajun cooking or some of the other like the traditional like foods like Irish or Scotch. Some of that is just the poor people making the best out of the ingredients that was available because they weren't being given the best ingredients, so they're trying to make the best cooking they can out of the poorest of the ingredients that they're being given by those of means, and then from that they actually develop a rich culture, again a rich uh, a rich type of recipes, or again, and a variety that's distinct, delicious and distinct. Uh, sort of like so I can imagine that it's like obviously it's easy to make good food with good ingredients. Can you make good food with less poorer ingredients?
ちょっと魚の頭でも大根の尻尾でもちょっとした味付けはなんか工夫すれば美味しくなるんだよって教えてくれたんです。
Food.
すれば美味しくなるんだよ。ちょっとした味付けはなんか工夫すれば美味しくなるんだよって教えてくれたんです。中学2年生の時、秀子ちゃんのお母さんが亡くなって、うちには包むお金がないから卵焼き作って持って行ったんです。顔に白い布かけられて、布団に寝かされてる秀子ちゃんのお母さん見て、私は物心ついた頃にはお父さんとお母さんがいなくて、ずっとおばあちゃんに育てられたから、私みたいに最初からお母さんがいないのと、秀子ちゃんみたいに死に別れるのと、どっちが悲しいのかなって考えてました。秀子ちゃん、台所でお通夜の料理一人で作ってました。台所でお通夜の料理一人で作ってました。私なんて声かけていいのかわからなくって、帰る時に勝手口に回って「卵焼き作ったから食べて」って渡しました。そのまま帰ろうとしたら秀子ちゃん、その場で私の卵焼き食べてくれて、おいしいよみちるちゃん、ありがとうって言ってくれたんです。その卵焼き、また誰かのために作ってあげてねって。私すっごい嬉しくて、家に帰ってからもまだニヤついてて、おばあちゃんにぶたれました。でも次の日も卵焼き作って持って行ったんです。秀子ちゃん、もういませんでした。お葬式が終わってすぐ北海道の親戚に引き取られたらしいです。それっきり会ってません。今急にそのことを思い出しました。
みちるちゃん、今日が最後だから、何か食べたいものがあったら言ってよ。できるもんなら何でも作るよ。お待ち。
だきます。ごちそうさまでした。
これもらっていいかな。この音聞かないとなんだか物足りなくなってね。
物足りなく。
なんだか物足りなくなってね。大事にするよ。
お世話になりました。
ありがとうございました。
ちえこ。ちえこ。
先に失礼いたします。
従業員、従業員。
先に失礼いたします。
Yeah, if you don't know, like if you're leaving work, you'll just say osakini, and then the other person who's staying behind, they're the ones that say oskare-sama. So don't leave and say oskare-sama. Don't. Yeah, again, it's just. Uh, yeah, it's that might seem kind of arrogant, maybe. I'm assuming. Don't.
ありがとうございます。お願いします。ありがとうございます。
はい、これあんたに。
Let's see if I can read that. Oh, Kami-san. Oh, it's from her mother, from her grandmother. Where are we at here?
お鍋の。はい、これあんたに。お鍋の中にはこぼさないでよ。涙の塩っ気でおつゆの味が濃くなっちゃうから。
If this is the end, what I might do is then stop it at the 11-minute mark instead of the 12-minute mark. Yeah.
I tell
you what, I'll stop it and go to the 11-minute mark. I think that's all right. All right, so we'll stop it there. I don't think we're going to get much. Yeah. Let's see. Yeah, there's still a long conversation. This is a good stopping point. So we'll stop at the 1 hour and 11-minute mark. Cool. Okay, let's and if you look at the time, like I said, we're at 35 minutes. So again, this goes pretty quick. It was a very simple. I don't. Part of it is I did watch this before, so I was probably able to understand it. But I had to look up quite a few of the words. What's going to happen as you start? If you've ever do this, you're going to find out. Like the reading gets faster and faster. Your comprehension gets faster and faster. It's still going to take longer than if you just watched it by itself. But again, as I mentioned, that's a benefit. once you've done this and then you rewatch it, your comprehension is at a much higher level than if I just spent the same amount of time just repeatedly watched it without looking up anything I didn't know, just trying to hope entirely on context. Um, you're just not going to pick up as much from the story. So that's why you'll hear some, and I think it's out of disingenuous, but you will hear some complaints about the way I do things, like because I'm pausing it, but they're thinking I'm watching TV this way. I'm not. This is a reading, and if you're reading a book and you're saying, hey, I'm not going to look up any words, well, okay, you're not going to understand a lot of stories. But I don't think they're going to say like, hey, if you're reading a book, is it bad to look up words? I would say no, that's not bad. Now it takes time, and that's why the benefit of reading a book, if you're again if you're using a pop-up dictionary like I'm doing, it's quick. All right, and you just some part of something unknown becomes known, and that just increases the comprehension of the overall story once you add in all those unknowns, because those unknowns start stacking up. If you start getting lost in the story, you don't know why people are doing what they're doing, it's not as enjoyable. So that's kind of like, you want to have something that's comprehensible, but if a lot of the words are unknown, the story is not comprehensible. So all you're doing with this let's read method is just making the story comprehensible through that. Now it takes time, but the benefit also, you're listening along to audio, so you get to hear how it's pronounced. It's kind of easier to absorb the story that way as well, I think. Then you get to do the next step, which is I never do on live stream, and well, kind of do it with the let's read the news, but is I do rewatch the story once, maybe even more times. The benefit with this is my wife happens to like stories like these. She will watch and rewatch stories like these. Depends on her mood. So if I've already done a let's read of it, that's an immediate benefit, because now it's a story that I have a much higher level of comprehension, so I can follow along and with a lot more of the details and pick up on. And now again, as I mentioned, I pick up on all the subtle details that are, instead of trying to concentrate on what they're saying, I can also pay attention to what's happening in the show that's not being spoken, and also pick up those hints as well, because that is a part of Japanese. Japanese society kind of goes along with the language. It doesn't have to, but for the most part, it does. So to understand society, sometimes it's the parts that aren't spoken. Um, Even if it's something as simple as handing over money, you want to do it in an envelope. If it's a payment like that. What you say, whether if you're the one leaving or the other person is leaving, who initiates, um, when to use polite language, things like this. It kind of is part and parcel with the language is kind of connected to the society, because Japan is pretty much the only society that's using that particular language. It's not the same with English, where it's spoken in many different countries, and applies different cultural norms. So the language doesn't have to follow the cultural norms. It's separate. It's separate from it in some cases. Okay, and again, I can't. Maybe I'm not wording this correctly or whatnot, but again, I understand there's a benefit to watching shows, but to watch shows to get the best of it, they need comprehensible. To make them comprehensible, you have two choices. It's either you learn the language, or you look at parts that aren't comprehensible immediately. You may not remember it. You may not remember all the words or any of the words, but you turn the story comprehensible without the use of English subtitles. And you may have been pick up the one word you didn't know, and then so out of the sentence, now that sentence becomes comprehensible when it's spoken. Stuff like that. Yeah, it's just give it a shot. If you've never tried it, I do recommend giving it a shot. Start with something simple. Cartoons may be the best. Those 5-minute cartoons that you might find on Netflix or Amazon, go with it, or on YouTube, and just look up the words you don't know, which should be much fewer words, and yeah, go with it. See how it works, and have fun. Okay, enough of this. This has been, let's just call that a day for this particular episode. For those of you on the live stream, I'm going to stop the stream for a few minutes, maybe more than a few minutes. Come back with part 4. For those of you on YouTube, this should be live on, or being made available on September the 8th. So the next video will be on September the 9th, obviously. We're doing this on the daily. And yeah, thank you all very much. White Mouse, thank you for the emoji. I don't even know what that is. That Hatsukaminos? I don't know what that Miku? Hatsukun. I already forgot the name. Hatsune Miku? Hatsune Miku? the virtual character before the HoloLive started becoming a really big thing. Okay, this was a pretty good story, and again, it started yesterday, but it's good that this story finished on this particular part. So I think that worked out quite well, and I think the way I'm splitting up these particular episodes is working out quite well, also. Yeah. So with that, let's. I'll say thank you all very much. If you enjoyed this video, remember give it a thumbs up. This is for people on YouTube. If you enjoyed the video, give it a thumbs up, leave a comment. If you like the series, subscribe to see more if you haven't already. If you appreciate the Let's Learn Japanese project, what I'm doing to help the Japanese learning community, you can support that via the Patreon. Links in the description, as well as links to the website and the community Discord. Finally, if you'd like to hire me on commission, but usually it means one-on-one advice to help get started or work your way through some of the stuff I've been suggesting or explaining in these various videos. The hourly rates and the payments are also done via the Patreon. The specific link for that is in the description as well. Thank you all very much, and I'll see you in the next video. All right, later, guys.